What's up, guys? We're all excited for Zach Cregger's Weapons coming out next week, and I got to thinking about Hollywood and true stories. And at the very beginning of the trailer for this movie, you hear a child state that it's a true story.
This is a true story that happened in my town.
And that's intentional, because when a child in the movie actually says it, there's a little like, is it really a true story, or is the character telling the character's true story? Who knows? But I figured, you know what? Let me do some research here and let me actually find out if Weapons is based on a true story. And keyword is based. To go back a little bit, I just reviewed this movie called Open Water. Check out the review if you haven't. The catalog titles, they don't get the views like the new releases do. I get it. But it's definitely worth your time, the movie itself. But when you go and do some research on the actual case of, this couple that gets stranded in the ocean and these sharks, come upon them and feed on them, you find out that we don't really know if the shark portion of the story actually happened. What had really happened, according to the real story, is that a couple went missing. And that's it. And that is what Hollywood has been doing all along. If there is a kernel of truth in any quote-unquote true story, then we'll go ahead and advertise it as a true story. Another example is Fargo. Fargo was advertised as a true story, but then I think after the movie came out, the Coen brothers came forth and said none of this was true. We literally just used a true story to put your butt in the seats, because we had a good movie, we had faith in the movie, but sometimes you need that little extra oomph, because this isn't like a franchise IP. This is just a one-off drama, So we got to do whatever we got to do. And this is, back decades ago when that movie came out. Now it's even harder for a movie like Fargo to get made and get into theaters, because Fargo's not really a horror movie. It's more of a crime drama. Weapons is a horror movie, and I think it's easier to get a horror movie in theaters these days. You don't really need to use the true story gimmick, but you can lean on it if it helps put butts in the seats. And I will admit, and you can let me know in the comments, when you hear a trailer or even like a director or an actor profess that this is based on a true story, does that pique your interest even more? Because it does mine. The idea that this actually happened always, piques my interest and makes me want to go that extra step to go see that movie. Because, again, this happened in real life. And yes, there have been movies in the past that were more of a true story than not. But we always have to do our research, right? So let me read you a little bit of this story about Zach Cregger's Weapons. And it was Zach Cregger himself actually speaks on this. And this is from radiotimes.com. Is new horror film Weapons based on a true story? The second film from Barbarian director Zach Cregger is in cinemas this August. Following his breakout horror debut with Barbarian in 2022, Zach Cregger returns to helm Weapons, a complex and ambitious spiritual successor that is already generating buzz ahead of its release. Cregger, who has earned a reputation for his ability to subvert expectations, has crafted another horror thriller that appears to defy genre standards. Where Barbarian employed structural surprises to heighten anxiety, Weapons goes one step further with its Magnolia-style horror epic. That is interesting. Set in Atlanta, Georgia, and starring Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, and Alden Ehrenreich, the plot centers on a small community after 17 students from the same classroom unexpectedly disappear overnight. When all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night and exactly on the same time, the community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. Reads the studio logline. Benedict Wong, Austin Abrams, Carrie Christopher, and Amy Madigan round out the cast. So here's where you want to pay attention. So is Weapons based on a real event? Does the case remain a mystery? No, it is not based on a true story, although Cregger has used real stories as inspiration. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Cregger addressed this openly. While the film is not based on a specific situation, he revealed that it was inspired by a very real pain. I had a tragedy in my life that was really, really tough. He told me. Someone very, very, very close to me died suddenly, and honestly, I was so grief-stricken that I just started writing weapons. Not out of my ambition, but just as a way to reckon with my own emotions, which does make this story sound really interesting. He added, it's an incredible personal story. There's certain chapters of this that are legitimately autobiographical that I feel like I lived. So while the plot, notably the mass disappearance, is fictional, the film's emotional core is based on reality. He also emphasized that the movie's direction shifts significantly, that mystery is going to propel you through at least half of the movie, but that is not the movie. The director revealed, the movie will fork and change and reinvent and go in new places. It doesn't abandon the question, believe me, but that's not the whole movie at all. By the midpoint, we've moved on to way crazier shit than that. Cregger's Weapons promises to be more of just a horror story. It aims to be a genre-defying epic that feels both personal and scary. So there you have it, guys. It's not a true story, but it is inspired by the pain that director Zach Cregger went through. I don't have a problem with this. I think you have to do what you got to do. And the reason I don't have a problem with this is because we've been duped before, right? This is nothing new. We all go into any Hollywood movie with a massive grain of salt. Well, I think we're just used to it at this point, right? We don't always think that, based on a true story. At the end of the day, we want to be entertained. We want to go to the movie theater, and we want to just have popcorn and enjoy the movie. I think if you want a true story, it's better to go with documentaries. There are so many great ones out there. I love documentaries. And as a matter of fact, I'm recording my July wrap-up, and I do have a documentary on that wrap-up. Amy Bradley is Missing, which was very enthralling. So let me know down in the comments if you care about true stories. Does it affect your enjoyment of the movie? Does the fact that the movie is marketed as a true story and it turns out to be not affect you? Let me know down in the comments. Also, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm trying to push the channel further and try to change things up, keep it fresh, keep it interesting for you guys, and I always look forward to your feedback. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do FIFA Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on my socials, follow me on Patreon, become a channel member, buy me a coffee. You know, guys, thank you so much for watching every day. Drumdum out.